And welcome into the Detroit City Fieldhouse for tonight's MASL W League match. Back with David Dwayhe on the broadcast. Who's excited about that? I know he is.
I am so excited. It's so great to be back. I listened in from sunny Florida, and though it was wonderful to be there with my family, I had a little bit of bittersweet feeling about it.
How was Disney, though, overall? You have
great.
A good time?
It's a special place. Yeah, we had a great trip. And good weather, and it was nice to see a DCFC win from afar.
I appreciate that. And then, of course, we won at the Fieldhouse last time we were here, but then two big wins on the road against this Demon Hawks team for Detroit City FC last week. First of all, a first for the club with the women's team traveling by a plane for the first time to an away match. But second of all, going out and getting two huge wins for the season.
Yeah, massive, because it's tough to travel, and it's really tough to travel distance. But we brought a great group and two great results on the road. Teams seem to match up well.
And, you know, anytime you can travel, especially that great of a distance, and that's going to be something that's playing against Iowa tonight. They're going to have to deal with what Detroit City FC dealt with. Not sure if they flew, but
I'd be curious.
I would be curious to find that out. Yep. I really would be, as both sides are finishing up their preparations right now with Iowa coming out of the huddle second.
I like the color contrast tonight. The navy,
blue and yellow. Yeah.
It's
very nice. It's very nice. And we're underway here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. Good to see Elisa Barron back in the starting 11 tonight.
Yes, she's been excited. I talked to her this week, and she was very excited to crack the starting lineup tonight.
Since she last played for the team, you almost announced it on air before we announced it on social media, but she was named the sports performance coach on the USL Championship side.
Yep.
So great for her and great for the club as well. She's vastly talented, of course, all the years at Bowling Green and at MSU, studying that field and having some experience in it before joining officially now the first team staff.
Yeah, everyone's very excited about her official arrival here. And, hopefully if schedules work out, she can still be meaningfully involved with the W League team this summer as player and as sports performance coach.
I couldn't have asked for a better segue from David Dwayhe, because it also announced this past week that you'll be returning to the touchline. I mean, what are the immediate thoughts on that?
Excitement. I'm still a little bit of anxiety around it. I want to do a good job, and I want things to go well, and I want the women to have an awesome experience, and so being a little bit responsible for that makes me a little nervous, but in a good way. But ultimately just very honored to have the opportunity and really looking forward to it.
Be honest, when the schedule post came out and we got to see our opposition for this year, and the first line of that was chasing our first ever national title, did that put some pressure on you? How did that feel? I felt bad doing that. I felt bad doing that. Or whoever it did, I'm sure they felt bad doing that.
Well, it's good to have high standards, right? And if you're considering that as a goal preseason, that means you're doing something right. So it's a good pressure to have.
Tatiana Mason tries to fancy Detroit City FC's first shot of the match. It's going to go taken back all the way by the visitors.
Well done, Katie
Who
Coleman.
kind of had some time on the ball for the first time tonight. Lisa Barron now playing that ball forward up to Amanda Britton, playing with her back to goal. Barron further up the pitch than usual, calling for it, hoping to take the ball off of her teammate and give her a little bit of support as she was under some strong pressure up against the boards. Back to Amanda Britton now, going to cut that one inside. Anya Dow is over to it. Anya Dow, though, a great job to win that one back. That right-footed shot's going to come in and calmly into the hands of the visiting goalkeeper. So already one shot on target for Rouge in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think they've established themselves well early in this game. It's been mostly right underneath us here in this half and putting some nice passing sequences together.
There's Rachel Newman on the save for the visitors. Anya Dow tried to play a clever 1-2 right there with Amanda Britton. It's going to go the other way now. Visitors as they look to get a foothold in this game. That's going to be Fatima Nasser sprinting across to get to that one on the boards.
Watching Fatima pick up that ball with her back to us reminds me the last time we were together on a stream, we were talking about famous Detroit number 91s.
Yep.
Fatima Nasser, Sergei Fedorov, and I went home and I realized we missed a big third one.
The fact that I don't know is bad.
Carlos Saldana.
Oh, that's even worse.
He's on our very own.
I know, we should have known that.
Our very own Carlos Saldana, goalkeeper extraordinaire.
I forget, I think it might have been Media Day on Monday. I saw his kit, and I was like, number 91's a great number.
Yeah.
For soccer, it's so good.
It is.
So Fatima Nasser, Carlos Saldana, both repping number 91.
Love it.
I like those like quirky numbers. Everyone wants to be number,
10
or 7.
Yeah.
And I get it. They're very cool numbers. But, there's a space in there for 91.
Yep.
93 is a good one. Some players pull off 99 really well.
They do.
Yeah.
Lily Bosley famously wore that for the women.
97.
97.
Yep,
cool
that's a good one. Tyrone Mondi. Yep.
I think the men have a 99 this year.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That was almost 2 in a row. You're just spoiling everything, Dave.
I have problems with
I had to cut you off quick on that one. Yeah.
Game on, everyone. Keep watching this game.
Claire Cerlino plays it over to Tatiana Mason. A good job to play the new line change into that ball. She played that ball to nobody, but by the time the line change had happened, there was a player right ready to receive it.
She knew it was coming.
Tatiana Mason plays in Alexandria Tifen for the first time tonight. Tifen up against the boards. Good job by Tifen here to stay through this pressure. A great job to turn as well.
It's been fun to watch Allie Tifen adapt to the indoor game. You know, she was, I think, for the better part of her career, purely an 11-on-11 player, and she's really figured it out quickly.
Claire Cerlino right-footed. What a save that was. It needed to be. That one flashed across the face of goal. Tifen up against the boards. Does really well to play it to Tatiana Mason. She wouldn't have had much time to make that pass, but it comes off the boards now to Cerlino. Cerlino with her head up finds Tatiana Mason, who's kind of sprinting across that yellow line, sort of parallel with it. Math term, parallel.
Loved it.
Looking for Claire Cerlino in front of goal. Nothing doing there. It's going to come back to Mason. Popped up into the air by Cerlino, but into the hands of Rachel Newman.
For those tuning in at home, we got a first-time appearance from DCFC's number 5, Nikki Hoff. Done a good first shift here. I've had the pleasure of playing with Nikki a few times. Incredible soccer player, incredible human being.
Glad to hear. I mean, that's just great. I've never heard Dave Dway have anything bad to say about anybody, so no shock there, but I'm sure his praise is warranted.
Here she is.
Nikki Hoff, nearly right as you talked about her, was able to almost get on the end of that one. That shot's going to come in. Elisa Barron threw a foot at it. And, yeah, that's going to bring play to a stop right here. 5.5 minutes in at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. And, yeah, that one happened right in front of us. Maureen Lilla on hand.
It's kind of a stray shot that I think caught her by surprise there.
And it's just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah,
you know, like,
it's bad luck.
Yeah, that was Elisa Barron just going for the ball and throwing a foot at it. But good to see Maureen Lillig on the field so quickly for that.
Yep.
Had a similar situation when the Detroit City FC men played against Toronto FC 2 out in Brighton last week. Just unfortunate, just,
I
you know.
witnessed that. Sometimes the ball just surprise. You can't react. Nobody could. This Iowa player could have never expected it was going to fly that way.
And to lose a player would be tough for this side, considering that they probably didn't travel with the largest group that they would have due to how long the gap is between the two cities.
Right. Yeah, they got just 2 lines at this point, so a loss would be significant. Hopefully she's all right. She's back on her feet.
Good to see the crowd at the Detroit City Fieldhouse giving her a hand as she walks off the field. Huge credit, as always, to Maureen Lilla for the timeliness and the professionalism of that.
She's so good. She's the best.
So lucky to have her around here at Detroit City FC.
Well, we got a little break in the action. Can I do a shout out?
Dave Dway, I got a shout out. Dave Dway tonight. Shout outs.
But I want to start first and foremost. There's a group tonight from the elementary school that my kids went to. Monteith Elementary School in Grosse Pointe Woods, and Miss Howie's 4th grade class is here. They have a small business called Fan Faces, and it's a really cool way that they kind of drive their curriculum throughout the year. Amazing collection of 4th graders. I had the pleasure of sitting down and talking with them about Detroit City FC as a small business about a month ago, and they're here tonight selling their products, supporting the team, and just wanted to give them a shout out in case they end up, they're watching the game live, but in case they end up watching this broadcast later, it's been great to have their support and to align as a fellow small business with them.
That's awesome. And that's great. I mean, I've been seeing it down there, kids with DCFC crest on with little arts and crafts stuff. It's been cool to see, so I'm glad to have more context behind it.
They make some Fan Faces is the name of the organization, and they make some really cool like bag tags, and they have kind of signs that like we can put people's faces on, and the things that go on Crocs.
Okay. Giblets. Yeah.
Thank you.
You ever own a pair of Crocs, Dave?
I have some faux Crocs.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what they're called.
Yeah, I was a huge Crocs guy growing up.
Yeah,
but more for just like around the house, not like going to work, going to school or anything like that. Like just for when I'm walking the door and before I walk out of the door. Yeah,
leisure.
Oh, easily. Shannon McCarthy does well to play in Tatiana Mason, who's making some progress up on the side of the boards there. Plays in Hannah Crum, who has to turn to beat the defender. Sort of a scrum in front of the goal here. Hannah Crum goes to ground, and the foul is going to go against Detroit City FC. Good battle, though, so far. I think Iowa have had a positive start to the game. They've done really well to limit Detroit City FC when they've been going forward.
They have. They've defended very effectively. DCFC have had the lion's share of possession, but not really any moments where we've been like, oh, they were unlucky not to score there. I think Iowa's kept the chances pretty minimal and a little bit, not super likely.
That ball is played over the top, looking for Tatiana Mason. She acknowledges the effort there from the teammate to find her over the top. Of course, for Detroit City FC this evening, no Kayla Addison, as she's with the U14 Academy team down in Louisville.
Wishing her and her team the best of luck.
Her and Mia Romeo absent tonight for the same reason, so cool to see. And then, of course, someone from the W League staff, Matthew, right?
Yeah,
Coach Matthew's down
Matthew
there as well with the squad. Yep.
A lot of W League representation on that coaching staff. And obviously, Addie and Mia both are notable omissions. They were both there in Iowa to secure those 2 victories, so it's a different look DCFC tonight.
That ball's chipped over the top.
Nice
it's going to be Amanda
ball.
Britton. Nice little diagonal ball there.
I like kind of floated that in, knowing the goalie wouldn't go.
Still Detroit City FC with possession. It's Katie Coleman looking for Amanda Britton in the middle of the park. Anya Dowd as well to get it back to Coleman. Shannon McCarthy can't shuffle it out of her feet. Goes to the opposition, but a good job to press by Detroit City FC. Wins it back. Amanda Britton has Tatiana Mason. She's been playing a little bit deeper tonight than we've seen her play this season.
Yeah, it's nice to see Tot get a little more offensive, and
she's just so good on the ball that no matter where you put her, it's going to work out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's true. You can't. there's no position that's wrong for her. It's just nice to see her a little further forward because I think she's such a great playmaker.
Similarly, in the starting 5, Katie Coleman being listed as a defender was a little bit of a shock to me.
Yeah.
We've seen her in the midfield and the attack this year, but Jen, another example of how if you're good on the ball, you can just put you out anywhere in the park.
Yeah, the versatility of some of these players is noteworthy.
Fatima Nasser
Speaking
now.
of which, you got Fatima Nasser on the ball who could very
timing
easily.
couldn't have been better on that.
It's good movement from City here.
Iowa now looking to get some possession. It's been a while since they've had a spell of possession. It's been because of plays like that. A great heads up by T-Fen to be in the right place at the right time. Detroit City FC looking to get another chance. That one's deflected away, but it's going to stay with Detroit City FC with Zoe Greenhalgh.
Great pronunciation there.
We were talking about it before the game. I think we had it confirmed at one point what it was.
Yep. You pronounce that G. You hit that G.
Greenhalgh.
Yep.
Big time. Glad I can officially say that with confidence because the last couple times I've been saying it, I've not been that confident.
And that's not a great feeling.
It
to
sucks.
not know if you're, that's someone's name. You want to get that right.
You want to get it so right every time. As someone whose name they get wrong all the time, I appreciate when people get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly 10 minutes gone here without a goal. That's been a rarity this season for Detroit City FC.
I feel like this game needs a goal.
Big time. When these two sides last met in Iowa, that was on that Sunday, it was a 5-2 matchup, so maybe a little bit, tighter than we would normally see these games, especially the way Detroit City FC's been playing this year.
Yeah.
And even more so, the day prior it was 12-3. So there's goals in this matchup, but they've been hard to come by in the last meeting at least.
For sure. And I think a last game, the most recent game, because Iowa was in the lead at halftime, which was probably the first time DCFC had faced a halftime deficit.
And that just goes to show the quality of this side and what they've been able to accomplish this season, as both sides are in the huddle now.
Yep. Yeah, they've been DCFC has been consistently dominant.
Good crowd again at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. This match sold out on Thursday.
It's awesome.
So a little bit of a gap, a couple days where we had to tell people, hey, there's no tickets left.
Yeah.
This team's too popular, which is great to see. And all the games have been sold out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to miss it.
I'm going to miss it.
We're going to miss it big time.
Yeah. To those of you who've been following along all these games, we're going to miss you.
Dave, you got a cold or something?
Yeah, I sound nasally.
Yeah, a little bit. No, it's not bad.
I'm coming off a cold.
The bigger thing is you just, loosen the shoulders a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit more excited.
Right. So
there it is. That's the Dave Dwayne before he went to Disney. There he is.
Sorry, everybody.
There he is.
That was a poor showing for 10 minutes from me.
I waited. There was no stoppages.
Somber. You didn't have a chance.
I had to do that in front of everybody so that you had to believe it.
That's the kind of trust
that
we have here where you can say that, and I need to hear it.
Big time. We're
Sorry,
back.
everyone.
Now we're back. No one was mad at you.
I was never gone, but I'm back.
Tatiana Mason lays it off to Eliza Barron comes back to Mason, top of the area. Claire Serlino. Back to Barron. Eliza Barron tried to go for a clever diagonal ball.
That look, that was almost.
We all saw what she saw, except for the Iowa defense, but there was a little nick right there that prevented it from coming off.
Yeah, and I think that's what Iowa's done really well tonight. Just kind of blocking passing lanes. They haven't been like overly compact, but they've been very organized defensively. They've had a good game plan. They've stuck to it. They're not trying to do too much. And they're making it very difficult. And
for the first time tonight, they kind of almost had numbers right there. And this is probably the most sustained possession they've had in this first quarter thus far, as they're doing well to play it amongst themselves around the back.
Yep. And I think if you're DCFC, this actually in some ways presents an opportunity. Like if you can win it and counter quickly.
Just like this. Ooh. Just like what you were saying, though, like with them pushed up,
there's some space
and not so settled. There's definitely space in behind, and Detroit City FC looking to exploit that right here through Barron. Barron on the turn, looks to play a Nikki Hoff there. It's going to come back to Claire Serlino, top of the area, tried to poke it through, but still with Detroit City FC. Tatiana Mason on the turn as well to get it to Barron, who's going to make way for the bench. Looks like she'll be replaced by Shannon McCarthy.
That's a good change
It's never bad to bring on Shannon McCarthy.
No, she's going to crack this open. She's one of the players that can do it and has the confidence to do it.
McCarthy's going to play it into Hannah Crum. Hannah Crum, top of the area. Tried to slip it back to McCarthy, but does well to win it back. Hannah Crum, 1-on-4, goes for it. That one's deflected up and out into the netting.
Nice. Hannah Crum on that favorite left foot is always a threat. Ooh, once a quick one.
We're going to see.
A quick one.
Yeah, and you see why.
Yeah, it was on.
For the record. Oh. McCarthy does well to win it back. Had me fooled right there. I thought she was going to Katie Coleman on that one.
Little spin turn there.
Cut back inside and cleared all the way back out to Gabby Shriver, who hasn't had much to do tonight in these first 13 minutes. 12 minutes. Poor math again on my part.
That's good. I think.
I said parallel earlier, though, so that kind of makes up for it.
You had like a bonus point in the bank.
Yeah. It's like when you know the extra credit on the test, you're like, all right, I can get one wrong.
You can afford. You just read. You almost plan on it then.
What do you think the message Danny Evans is going to be to her team at this first quarter break? I feel like she won't be satisfied with some of the passing that has been on display, but that just shows how high the standard's been all year.
Yeah, she'll want them to sharpen up a bit, but no doubt have the patience, and she'll give them great information. You know, I think that's Danny's specialty. She sees the game so well tactically, but she has the bedside manner to like deliver the message in a way that inspires players. So she really she excels in these situations when things aren't going great and you need a little pick-me-up.
And as a former player yourself, has that helped from being a former player?
I think so. Oh, look at that.
Right, Detroit City FC. That was an unbelievable finish.
What a goal. What a goal.
You mentioned the dummy, and I mentioned the finish, and it's Zoe Greenhalgh 4 minutes in.
Oh, man.
Excuse me. 13 minutes in. I was looking at her number.
It's okay.
And it's 1-0 Detroit City FC.
And huge props to Hannah Crum for having the presence of mind to let that go through her legs for an open Zoe Greenhalgh. That goal does not happen without Hannah Crum's moment of brilliance there.
And the defender was tricked by it. I was tricked by it. Like it felt like time stopped here in the Detroit City Fieldhouse, but when time resumed, it was 1-0 DCFC.
Oh, yeah, you looked up and it was 1-0. Here they come again.
And you kind of wonder if that's just going to give the team confidence, right?
Yeah.
Like I felt like they were starting to get a little bit worried that goal wasn't coming, and then goals change games. You hear it all the time, but in the arena game, that's never been more true.
Yep.
Tatiana Mason lines up her right foot, had the goalkeeper beat, but not the plexiglass, whatever material that may be. Amanda Britton now has Fatima Nasser running outside of her. Great spin there by Fatima Nasser. Britton's going to throw it up against the glass. Don't know if that was planned, but if it was, Tatiana Mason was in the space to make the most of it.
I think the game needed a little spark.
It just felt faster after that goal. It feels like 15, 20% faster now after that goal. We talk about it all the time. Now Iowa's going to have to come out a little bit.
Yep.
And that'll just open up more space for Detroit City FC.
And I think psychologically, if you're Iowa and you're keeping it 0-0, it gives you a little bit of extra pep in your step. And now that you've conceded it, I guess you can go either way, right? You can drop your head a little, or you can buckle down, but we'll see what happens.
Tifen throws up a shot that comes off of the glass.
Good track from, ooh. Yeah, I didn't think there was.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any contact there.
Good track from Anya Dow there.
Tatiana Mason tries to find Amanda Britton.
The game has definitely spiced up.
Anya Dow's going to get it back now, and situations like that are things to keep an eye on for sure. That'll add to the intensity of these games.
Yeah, even though
and we see it right there. Yeah, Fatima Nasser taken out, and there was contact on that one. I don't think there was any doubt about that.
Ref had a good view of it.
Good for Nasser to get up so quick, though. We heard an audible gasp from the crowd.
Yeah, it looked bad, but she's a trooper. Just enough time to create one more little half-court sequence here.
Rachel Newman getting her side back underway up against the boards. Great job by Chris and Chad down there getting the camera back on.
A lot goes into these broadcasts.
Yeah, things were stressful between me and Kyle Clayton down here once we saw that camera go dark.
Yeah.
Because Chad is not only doing the clock, which comes to an end here to end the first quarter from the Detroit City Fieldhouse, but he's also doing, he's plugging cameras back in, he's just hanging out, he's doing a great job down there.
He is. He's a man of all trades, and we appreciate him.
So Detroit City FC 1, Iowa Demon Hawks 0, headed into the end of the first quarter. Dave, what side is going to be? Obviously, Detroit City FC has the lead.
Yep.
I don't think Iowa Demon Hawks have too much to be sad about, though.
No, I think in some ways, up until 2 minutes left, they were really sticking well to their game plan and frustrating DCFC, and I think they could continue to do so. But DCFC got a goal, and that makes a big difference.
And it was just a moment of brilliance from Hannah Crum, Zoe Greenhalgh, everyone involved in that goal. And beside that, it's been a pretty even match. But keep an eye on this game picking up intensity-wise.
For sure. You saw it a little bit right before the end of the quarter. Some slightly tougher tackles and a little more physicality, and I expect that to continue.
Welcome back to the Detroit City Fieldhouse. Just seconds away from the second quarter of action, Detroit City FC holds a 1-0 lead over the Iowa Demon Hawks. Dave, this game's about to get fun in the second quarter.
I agree.
Not that it wasn't fun in the first.
No, but I think there was a slow feeling out period in the game. DCFC probing, but not really with any sting in the tail. Iowa defending very, consistently, and with playing with a defensive priority. But I think now that there's a goal on the board, we're going to see it open up.
Great job by Zoe Greenhalgh to start the scoring. It was a great move by Hannah Crum, and really everyone that was involved in making that happen did a great job. And Detroit City FC reaping the benefits now of being up 1-0 as we start the second quarter. As Iowa breaks out of their huddles. Looks like a group of Eliza Barron, Claire Serlino, Gabby Shriver, Zoe Greenhalgh, Nikki Hoff, and Hannah Crum on the field.
Getting information here from Eliza Barron. She said we got the numbers wrong, 29, not 11, but was that on the roster maybe?
No, that would have been on the in-stadium.
Okay. Well,
that's awesome to do that on broadcast, Dave. That's sweet. That's good. Just so everyone at home knows there was a mistake tonight.
Hey, yeah. I feel like when you
we got it right up. We got it right up here.
Yeah, yeah. We absolutely.
Why bring that negative energy into what we're doing here?
She just said it to me. I got nervous. Anyway, sorry.
Probably incredibly valid though.
Yeah, it's okay.
Nikki Hoff off the boards now. Detroit City FC looking to add a second really early on in the second quarter.
We're an organization that can own its mistakes, right? I can. And I make a ton of them.
No. That's Rich. Zoe Greenhalgh receives it back off of the boards. Zoe Greenhalgh tried to dribble inside to fashion the shot. It's going to be Hannah Crum now. Poked away, but it's going to stay with Detroit City FC.
I don't know if this is a permanent thing, but it started to, I've seen it ever since she played that really smart dummy. I wonder if Hannah Crum has taken.
That's a great ball and a great save. Claire Serlino, that would have been a popular goal around the Fieldhouse tonight.
I think in the absence of Kayla Addison, I think Hannah Crum has taken on a little bit more of like a post-up role, which is exciting because I think she'll be really good at that. Nice turn.
The technicality, I think, is going to really shine in that role. You know, she's so good on the spin, similar to Kayla Allison, but almost for different reasons.
Yep, holds the ball up really well.
Yeah. And always knows where the teammates are running past her. It's a great mix for being that, I don't want to say number 9, but tip of the spear, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely the position in an 11-on-11. Nice little bit of footwork from Eliza Barron there, showing her dynamism.
What a word.
I like that word.
I could tell he was proud of that one when he said it. He looked proud when he said it.
Thanks. Little smile. Uh-oh.
Iowa now has a chance to
not a bad
get something going here. A great idea.
And actually, she might have played
herself. It's going to work out. It's going to come off the board. It's going to be a rebound shot, but calmly into the hands of Gabby Shriver.
You don't see that often.
Who really couldn't have done much about that. I think she was off her line, and then I don't know if that player knew that then she could run it down or if she was going for the shot in the first place, but a great job nonetheless to play that one off. That was a smart arena play there.
Yeah, that was cool. It was almost like a basketball player that throws it off the backboard to themselves and dunks it.
I've always been a big fan of that.
Yeah.
That one's going to come in. And what a save that was by Rachel Newman, and it had to be.
That was Katie Murphy on the header there, number 21. I think that might have been her first moment of involvement this game. Another new face.
Yeah, new to the squad for tonight. Katie Coleman on the ball now. Shannon McCarthy tried to dribble it out of her feet. Excuse me, that was
Emily Matson.
Emily Matson. They both have headbands. I was a little bit. It's hard when they're down here. It really is.
We're on the other side, everyone.
Katie Coleman, top of the area. Probing for something going on inside the box. McCarthy now out wide. Back to Katie Coleman. Katie Coleman chips it in. Blocked and cleared away by Iowa, but it's only going to be as far as Gabby Shriver, who's back to playing off of her line. You kind of see that in the arena game all the time when you're here at the Fieldhouse any given night. You see these goals. And that one, what a shot that is from wide.
I think that's
Amanda Britton.
Amanda Britton, and maybe we're pretty far from it, but a possible little redirection touch or a little push-on touch from Katie Murphy. She lunged for it. I don't know if she touched it.
That was great, though. No matter who scored it, it was a great ball in by Amanda Britton.
Yep.
And it just kind of skipped past everybody and into the back of the net. I think that might have taken a bounce off the turf before we got to Rachel Newman.
Absolutely. And I think a bit of an unsung hero on that play is Shannon McCarthy just playing that ball forward quickly when it was on, having the presence of mind to advance the ball.
And that move came from like a spell of just calm possession from Detroit City FC.
Yep.
Almost like you're waiting for Iowa to make the move first, and then you can adjust accordingly, and that was an example of that right there.
Yep.
And right again, Amanda Britton on the turn has Detroit City FC going forward.
2-on-1 here. Ooh, wow, what a tackle.
Coming together there, but clean, says the referee, and that was a great tackle by the visitors.
Amanda Britton is not one to shy away, and the Iowa player gave as good as she got. Wow, that was a little bit of physicality.
Great job to win it back there.
Got a little crazy along the boards there.
But good for the referee. I think the referee realized it was a 50-50 situation.
Yeah. No,
just part of the game, arena soccer. It's such a tight space that there's going to be contact sometimes. Mason throws the right foot at it. Popped up and cleared away, but back to Mason, top of the area. Chipped across. McCarthy on the turn does well. Hacked at a couple times there. Hannah Crum was hoping to benefit from a rebound right there, but it's going to be back into the hands of Rachel Newman in goal.
Well up, Fatih.
Good effort there by Fatima Nasser to get back and over for that one.
Yep, you can tell, I think once again, a goal has sort of invigorated City's attack. They just seem to have a little extra confidence.
And this Iowa team's not, they were not easy to break down the last time these side teams met. They've not been so far tonight. Good job to play that one off of the boards. Yeah, that was about as close to the netting as you can get right there without going into the netting. That was an all glass kind of a rebound right there. Gabby Shriver may be in a precarious situation, but does well to play it over to Tatiana Mason. And great job by Mason to recognize the danger there and make herself available for a pass from her goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's her center midfield instincts kicking in. She's so good at finding space and getting on the end of it.
That one's going to fall to Anya Dow.
What a hit.
And Tiefent throws a foot at it.
Great
up
strike.
And into the netting.
Great strike from Anya Dow there.
That was, I wouldn't have wanted to put my hands in front of that one. That was a rocket.
That had all sorts of pace on it.
What was your favorite thing about Disney?
Great question. I loved Epcot Center, all the international stops, and the food was really good there.
I've heard great things about Epcot. Tonight's center cameraman, Chris Mills, goes to Epcot every so often, maybe once a year and a half, once every 2 years.
Nice.
And every time he goes, that's the only thing that, and the Star Wars stuff looks pretty cool at Disney, I can't lie. But
it's amazing. I'm just so impressed, the attention to detail there.
Really?
Every little thing is so impressive. And
I think we went when I was 3, but I don't, obviously I don't remember that, but.
No, it was great. It was a lot of fun. I also really enjoyed in Animal Kingdom, they have this safari ride.
Okay.
Where you really do see, you're we had a giraffe,
Are they real
10 feet away
animals?
from us. Yeah.
Okay.
And they have this real wildlife preserve there that's, you're shocked that you're in Disney World. That's amazing.
We did Universal Studios, and we did the Jaws ride, and I remember that.
Okay.
Because you're in a boat, and obviously there's sharks.
Yeah.
And, when you're 3 or 4, however old I was, it's scary, honestly.
It's a ride. It's not real sharks, right?
Yeah. No, they're animatronic sharks. Okay. Yeah. But that's even scarier, because a real shark would just, they wouldn't. But this one was scary, and it was mad, and it was wanted to get the boat.
Ooh, that's a bad foul.
And that's a horrible foul. Fatima Nasser's going to go to ground. And a blue card is shown, so Detroit City FC will be on the power play.
Fatima Nasser doing a really nice job there, keeping her composure. That's a tough foul to suffer, and then
got right back up.
Yeah.
Not mad. I think she probably knew what the decision was going to be.
Yep.
But
she did right by her team there. Sometimes players retaliate, and then you end up hurting your team, or you even things out. And I think she did a great job there, keeping her cool and letting it remain an advantage.
Lisa Barron plays it across. Falls back to Barron.
Great strike. 2 great strikes.
And Detroit City FC now can play with a little bit more freedom, knowing they have a player up. And the way Gabby Shriver's going to position herself during this power play could mean they're almost 2 players up.
Yeah, like a bit of a fly keeper effect.
Barron's going to play it out wide to Serlino. Serlino back to Barron, top of the area. Barron tried to throw a left foot at it. Going to come back to her once more at the top of the area.
It's good patience from City.
Back over to Serlino. Serlino directly involved and mainly involved really in this power play so far for Detroit City.
I like what Detroit City's FC is doing right now. They're
back to Serlino, who finally fashions a shot. It's going to come back to Shriver.
Working the ball really consistently and forcing pulling Iowa out of position a little bit. Iowa's done well, but I think if City can keep the ball moving, they'll create a good chance for themselves.
Falls to Serlino. That one hits the crossbar, and a rebound attempt was made there. But I believe that's Anya Dow in the attacking fourth. Dow and Barron linking up on multiple 1-2 so far in this sequence. Comes back to Serlino, top of the area. Going to play it back to Anya Dow. Dow with the right foot. That's going to fall back to Serlino.
That's it.
Into the back of the net. Detroit City FC gets the goal on the power play, courtesy of Claire Serlino.
Great finish from Claire, and I think it was Zoe Greenhalgh who kind of played that ball back diagonally to her so that the physics of the situation were favorable. Claire just had to kind of put a foot through it, keep it low and on frame, and sure enough, it found its way in.
And the most likely outcome there was going to be a Claire Salino goal. The way that she was involved in the movement the entire time, Detroit City had a player advantage. There was the shot was always going to come from her.
Yeah,
and she did a great job with it.
She stayed in that pocket of space that Iowa kind of had to give up, and she filled it very well.
Had one deflected seconds prior and still kept with it and went for the shot that ended up giving Detroit City FC their third.
Yep.
And the patience from DCFC there was great, but really on a power play you have 2 minutes to score, because when you score they come back to full strength anyway.
Yeah.
So why not just pass the ball around till a good shot? No sense in taking shots, letting them get on the ball. Just pass it around.
Right. Really take advantage of the numerical advantage.
Katie Coleman shifts that one in, headed away, but still with Detroit City. Shannon McCarthy.
And it's almost like that power play became a dress rehearsal for DCFC, because now they're kind of playing that way at even strength.
I was going to mention that. It felt very similar to what we just saw when Detroit City FC had a player advantage.
They're moving it so well right now.
Emily Matson. Back to Amanda Britton. Great job to find Shannon McCarthy.
What a tackle.
McCarthy does well to go to ground. Back to Matson. It falls back to Coleman before coming back to Britton. Nice little layout there to Emily Matson up against the boards. And Iowa, really, that's about as far as they can kick it. They're really on the back foot right now, but they could break here. 4-on-2 situation. It's going to roll into the boards. Katie Coleman's going to do well to get over to it.
It's funny, when the ball's in that area, right by that sign, you and I have no idea what's going on.
That's why we get really quiet, folks.
We can't see.
So if you're at home, feel free to do your own commentary when that ball's in that zone.
That's your cue, guys.
Go for it.
Oh, what a pass.
What a pass across.
Shannon McCarthy picking out Tot. Great little sequence there. Tough ball to handle, but that's the way they're going to crack them open. That was really nice.
And this second quarter has been much improved from Detroit City, but I think it was sort of a nature of the way the game was going. Iowa had to come out after that first goal from Rouge, and they've had to play that way, and the deficit's only growing, Dave.
Yep. Yeah, and I think with each goal, DCFC gaining confidence, gaining know-how, and they're gonna really push to extend this lead before halftime. See if they can't kind of put it close to out of reach. Nothing's ever really out of reach early in the game in indoor, but I think they're making their way toward a tough deficit to overcome.
We're seeing a little bit of a timeout here, so both sides going to have the opportunity to talk over their game plan with the squads. I think we mentioned Danny Evans might have some things to say after that first quarter, some sloppy passing, but I think she'll be really impressed with this improvement from her side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any travel issues on the way down to Disney? Everything go well?
No, everything was smooth there. We had a little
Orlando
delay.
Airport?
Orlando Airport's busy, and we had kind of been warned. So when we went home, we got there extra early, made it through pretty quick, and then we did get delayed, but it wasn't more than a couple hours, so it wasn't a huge deal.
Not too bad.
Back into the swing of things now, but I got to say, getting back home, one of my first thoughts was, I can't wait till the next arena game, because I got one more crack at it with Mackie.
And then you were probably hope and happiness was probably followed by sadness, because you didn't realize it was the last arena game.
It was bittersweet.
I know, bittersweet.
It was like I was up and then I was down. It flew by.
Where did the season go?
It flew by. It has flown by. It's been such a treat to be a part of these broadcasts, and I hope those of you who have been watching from home have enjoyed it as much as we have. These games are super fun. And
it was awesome when you got, announced as the returning USLW League head coach. A part of me was like, we could have been on the broadcast for those games,
I know. Well, maybe
Sean Grogan's great.
Yes.
Let's caveat that. He did a great job in your stead.
Fantastic job. And not only in the arena game, but throughout the summer. I love watching you guys work together. And
just as a person, he's great.
He's awesome.
Sean Grogan's great.
Shout out to Sean Grogan,
who I think is in Florida right now on vacation.
Whoa.
You guys swapped it out. Yeah.
There's like a law of conservation of
one of you guys. One of the color commentators from DCFC has to be in Florida. So when you guys aren't there, it's John Krieger that makes the trip down. Yeah,
it's a real burden, because you got to keep it going.
Yeah,
but
it sucks.
We're making it work. But yes, it is also bittersweet in terms of missing out on broadcasts in the summer, but I'm close by.
Yeah, and you got the best view in the house for those games, too.
I do. So
even better than ours.
It's true.
Speaking of USLW League and the excitement to get back to it, Hannah Crum on the ball does well to dribble past the defender and then win the ball back. That one will go against Detroit City FC. And that's really the first one that's gone against DCFC all night, but I think that's the first justified one that they've – there's been a couple you don't want to say dives, but there's been, people going to ground without much contact.
Yep.
And that was a totally fair foul.
Yeah.
And a fair call, by the referee.
Hannah will give up a foul or two. She's always going to make an honest effort for the ball, but sometimes, when she's reaching a leg out, it might draw some contact.
Just nature of the game.
Yeah. She's a tough defensive player. She gives a full effort every time.
Detroit City FC looking to add a fourth. Iowa looking to get back a foothold in this game. And we mentioned it, folks. The game was picking up intensity-wise in that first quarter, and don't think that blue card is going to change that.
No, not at all. The temperature rises every time something like that happens.
And that tackle by Hannah Crum is going to add to it. And every little moment adds to this in the arena game because it's such a confined space and there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
Katie Coleman assessing her options up the pitch.
Good ball in.
Good idea there by Hannah Crum, looking for the lofted header backwards, but it could present an opportunity for the visitors for the first time in a while.
Look at her go track and win that. Draw a foul. That's classic. That's vintage Hannah Crum right there.
And that one's going to go against the visitors. And the Iowa bench is not happy about that. But, of course, the last game we were here for, we saw the other team's bench get 2 blue cards at the end of the game.
Really?
So something to keep an eye on.
That.
Yeah.
A little bit of drama?
Little bit of drama.
Oh, that's a great ball from
Greenhouse going to play it into Britton.
What a finish. That's a great goal.
Britton gets her second of the night. It's 4-0 DCFC.
I loved that goal. I really enjoyed that. That was just like textbook, unselfish soccer. Great find from Zoe Greenhalgh and like a really, really solid finish from Amanda Britton to kind of like keep that one down and on frame.
Clever, too. Just so calmly tucked that into the right corner, bottom left corner, excuse me.
Yes.
Goalkeeper's right. And it's 4-0.
Yeah, all of a sudden, boom. I would say that was a well-taken goal. Like, for Amanda Britton to do what she did with that ball, very well taken.
So Detroit City FC sort of pulling away here in this second quarter, just 4 minutes till the half.
And Zoe Greenhalgh has been pretty consistently involved in these goals as playmaker.
Definitely. It's been great to watch. She's been involved in these games, but really kind of just asserting herself in this team tonight.
Yeah. It's been neat to see her growth over the last 3 games. Or I don't know if did she go to Iowa? But I don't remember. That's so long ago.
You're starting to see some frustration kind of creep into this Iowa squad. The scoreline's not going to help with that, but on that occasion, the ball bounced off the referee, and the referee was kind of like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
But that,
These things happen.
Zoe Greenhalgh, you mentioned her involvement in the playmaking, but also has not been afraid to win the ball back deep in the midfield or in defense when she's asked to be.
Yep.
Great communication there by Eliza Barron. We could hear her, the man on up to Fatima Britton, Fatima Nasser.
That's a cool little combination.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, looking at the 5 that are on the field right now, I wonder if, in part, the strategy from Danny Evans in terms of personnel choice. I feel like with Zoe Greenhalgh, they have a Hannah Crum-esque player.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, she's coming back, she's tracking back, doing the defensive work, but she's kind of picking the passes as well. And I think you always want a player like that on the field. And
they have multiple. They're blessed with so many of them that it's crazy.
So many. But I think her and Hannah almost seem to be offset on substitutions, and I wonder if it's, from Danny, a strategy of like, let's always have at least one player on the field that's capable of playing that dual role so well.
Dual roles, like Fatima Nasser, like everyone and I think that could be a product of the arena game also.
Yep.
But on this Detroit City FC team specifically, there's so many, Swiss Army knives, if you will, like of players who can play anywhere on the pitch that Danny Evans needs them to.
Yep. What a blessing as a coach to have so many versatile players.
Coincidentally, they're the same ones that do it for you. Most of them
man.
for the USLW League side.
Yeah, we have players that can really go almost anywhere. And it makes team selection. Like, it's bittersweet, right? Because you got so many options, but great to have options.
Anya Dow and Eliza Barron applying some pressure. Zoe Greenhalgh now. Clever dribbles there from Greenhalgh, looking to beat the defender, and a great job to play the ball across.
I think Zoe's feeling it. You can tell just like that little sequence of dribbles she did. Like, she's feeling
and you can't blame
confident.
her.
No. I think that's what you want. You want to, like, kind of heat yourself up in a game, get a couple good passes in. Oh, wow, there's a little extracurricular activity over there. That girl might be out of the game.
Ooh, what was that?
Yeah, that was bad. It was off the ball. She kind of took a run at Amanda Britton there. I happened to be looking. It was very much off the ball.
There's like a unicorn like a unicorn inflatable over here.
A lot's going on right now.
And I was looking at that, and we're getting a great shot of the camera here from Chris Mills. The guy's Iowa head coach would like an explanation.
I think he might get himself.
And he's
going to
he's going to get himself in trouble, and he's going for the bottom pot. I think he's looking for the red.
He's going to give me a yellow maybe for.
Okay, a yellow, yeah.
It was. I mean, from what I saw, there seemed to be sort of a deliberate act of violence. Amanda Britton kind of rolled away from it quickly and did not retaliate, to her great credit.
And that's a great camera shot from Chris Mills.
Yeah, he's on top of the current action.
And are we going to get a power play from that? We have to.
Yeah, so I think in the case of a red card, it's a power play, but that player individually won't be able to return.
So it will be a Detroit City FC power play coming up. And the referee, I think he's still reaching. He's near his pocket for this second yellow card for the Iowa coach.
Coach has to be really careful. It seems like it's turned into more of a conversation, which is good and always okay. But yeah, he's not happy with it. Gesturing.
And no matter what he says, I mean, the player's not coming back.
Those decisions don't get overturned. You know, the ref saw what they saw, and they felt that it was – and the ref very confidently issued the red. So, to me, it would suggest that what I saw from a distance was exactly what she saw up close, and it was an act of, kind of a violent conduct situation.
And this is really – I enjoy this from the referee explaining it to the bench. I don't know if he necessarily has to, but he is. He's taking it.
Yep.
He knows he's not going to be a popular figure over there. But regardless, I mean, that you can't be doing that in the middle of the park.
No, definitely not.
Conversation still ongoing here. So Detroit City FC will be receiving a power play. And for those watching at home, it looked like it just came off of an off-the-ball incident.
Yep.
Anything kind of off the ball, especially in the arena game when it's so unnecessary, would probably warrant something near a red card.
Yeah.
So that player, we were talking about when that player went down injured earlier, that it's going to be bad to be a player down with the number that they traveled. That one's not going to come back.
Yeah, this one's definite, right? And you see 4 Iowa players on the field, which would suggest that your theory is correct, Mackie. It's going to be a numbers-up situation for DCFC, and we'll see if they can't take advantage before halftime here.
And last time they did.
Yep.
And, again, we're talking about the intensity heating up.
Mm-hmm.
That's only going to add to that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the next couple minutes are
one to look at.
Are key, yeah.
I expect if Detroit City FC scores in this power play, I expect a big celebration from the bench.
For sure.
The conversation's still ongoing down here.
Yeah. And just to once again give credit to Amanda Britton, from what I saw, it was she was victim of something kind of untoward and uncool, and she kept her cool and got off the field right away.
John DeBoer.
Hey, John.
In frame. Referee going over to his little...
Reporting the details to his third official.
I almost said his little friend, but that guy's also here in an official capacity.
Yeah. But, hey, for all we know, they're friends.
I hope they are. That's a good work environment. God forbid you work with friends.
You want to work with your friends.
Aren't we all so blessed to do that at Detroit City FC?
So true. Speaking of friends.
But what what I was distracted at when the red card happened, you guys will see it at the half, so don't go anywhere.
Oh, man, the halftime show promises to be a treat.
Hannah Crum chips that up, looking for Nikki Hoff. Shriver off of her line to play in Fatima Nasser. A little shocked not to see Claire Serlino out there with the success they had last time. Fatima Nasser dribbles and takes a right-footed effort.
I like that. She had an isolated situation, had the confidence to take the girl on.
And right as I mentioned it, Serlino's going to check back into the game. Yep. Of course, the goal scorer on the last Detroit City FC power play. McCarthy over to Serlino. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Nikki Hoff playing well with the back to goal. Serlino, top of the area. Has Hannah Crum alongside her. Hannah Crum cutting in, plays it back to McCarthy, who's out wide. McCarthy, top of the area, back to Hannah Crum. Hannah Crum left-footed. Falls to McCarthy now.
It's always exciting when Hannah Crum winds up with that left. You know
Unreal.
it's going to have some chance of a goal because she can really strike a ball.
Serlino back to McCarthy. Detroit City FC confident in possession so far.
Ooh.
Hannah Crum on the volley and turn.
I like that. That was a nice little, that was true indoor soccer.
Still going for it, Hannah Crum. That one's going to come all the way through. Back up top to Serlino. Back to Crum. Tatiana Mason.
This has been a really well-worked power play from Detroit City FC. They haven't had a ton of shots.
Mason with the left foot into the back of the net.
It's
5-0.
Good strike from Tatiana Mason.
And 2 power plays for Detroit City FC, 2 goals. It's almost like the sport's easier when you're up an extra player.
It's true. It's true. I was just going to say, I really enjoyed that because it was mesmerizing the way they were moving the ball. They were just so patient and yet so quick to find the next pass. It had to be impossible to keep up with that. If you're Iowa, you're inevitably going to get stretched. Ball fell to Tatiana Mason with enough of a lane, and she found the back of the net.
And Hannah Crum had like 3 clear-cut opportunities in that move. So it's not like Detroit City FC wasn't on top of that entire power play.
Yeah.
And that's 2 very effective. You could probably call that a set piece for indoor soccer. Power plays, big time.
It's an
2 very effective power plays for Detroit City FC right there.
And it's definitely a situation you rehearse in training. You know how you're going to move the ball, how you're going to rotate players through, and Detroit City FC seemed to have really mastered the art.
And at the end of the day, there is an extra player out there.
Yeah.
You just can't, no matter how you work on or if you work on it or not, you have an extra player, and that does dividend, especially when, 5v5 in the arena game.
Yep.
And that's going to bring the first half of action to a close from the Detroit City Fieldhouse. Detroit City FC 5, Iowa Demon Hawks 0. Dave, what did you make of that second quarter and the first half overall?
Great second quarter for DCFC, both on the scoreboard and just in terms of the way they were able to play through that 15 minutes. I thought they really asserted themselves in possession and still created a ton of chances in the process. So big extension of the lead over the course of that period, and they're in a great spot now, 5 up at the half.
And it really has been a fun game. It picked up intensity-wise in that second, and we'll see right now what I was looking at when the red card came through. So we're going to get the graphic off, and we're telling Chris Mills to lock in on what's walking by the... This is a nightmare from Chris Mills as he's figuring out... Yeah, I mean, how are you supposed to recognize there's a red card happening when Ebby Varghese is making this happen on the field? What do you make of the wacky waving inflatable guy in general, like as a character?
Which one are we talking about?
The used car salesman?
Yes. I think I'm a fan.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's really fun.
It's objectively fun.
Yeah. Well, that'll bring us to the halftime break.
Okay.
Me and David Dwahey here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. It's Detroit City FC 5, Iowa Demon Hawks 0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the second half of action. Welcome back to the Detroit City Fieldhouse for the second half of action. Detroit City FC coming out of this half up 5-0. Dave, we really saw them grow into that second quarter, and it's 5-0 for a reason. They played good soccer, and they put the ball in the back of the net.
They sure did. It was nice to watch that game unfold because I think it kind of started slower than they would have liked, but it's all about how it ends, and it ended well. First half ended very well for Detroit City.
And we're delighted up here because they're attacking on our end of the field once again.
We can see the offensive action very closely.
Things picked up a little bit. Detroit City FC, the beneficiary of a couple goals off of power plays. But, getting the power play is one thing, but you do have to take the most of it, and they have done so far here tonight.
Yep.
Tatiana Mason, tried to lay that off back inside. Iowa now has a chance to break here to start the second half. But Eliza Barron and Fatima Nasser do well to get back. It's going to be Barron that has to defend out wide. That one's up and into the netting and out of play. So let's hope there's another ball. And what a great job that was. I don't know who that was.
That was like immediate.
But it was right away.
Yeah, Johnny on the spot there.
That's someone that wants to. They have plans after this or something.
Yeah.
They're just, hey, let's end this game. That's what they're going
for. Right.
Tatiana Mason there looking to get things going up the other end. Ooh. You always shout this out when you have mutual friends with somebody.
Yeah.
Well, I have a mutual friend with Alexandria Tefend.
Oh, cool.
A friend of mine who I went to MSU with. Shout out Delaney Rogers.
Hey, Delaney.
MSU focal point. Going to be an incredibly talented journalist someday. That one's going to come in, but played away. She was on her TikTok. And she was scrolling her TikTok, and it was my voice. Because T-Fen posted one of her highlights from one of these games, and she texted me, she's like, is this you? I'm like, yeah.
They
go
cool.
way back from elementary school, grew up together. And
very neat.
It's a small world out there. It really is.
That's neat how she stumbled upon the connection.
Just randomly.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, that's your voice. Yeah. That would cut me off guard.
Same.
If I heard just someone's voice like out there in the wild like that.
Yeah.
Not a TikTok guy myself, so.
Yeah.
Iowa looking to just get something going. I think a goal would do a lot for them, like confidence-wise and just vibes-wise for them right now.
It's got to be tough to travel this distance, to play a strong team and not really have anything to show for your efforts, but here they're in.
That one's going to come in. Shriver kind of had some work to do on that one for the first time tonight.
Yeah. It was interesting. You kind of saw Gabby Shriver there almost like duck away from the shot, which is sort of like counterintuitive for a goalie, but I think in the arena game, with the impact of the boards, you almost want to get out of the way of the deflection.
Because there's going to be a rebound.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that also gives her cover. She can get over to her right quicker. Yeah, It's a lot better.
A really clever, kind of makeshift, a counterintuitive thing to do, but very effective.
Some defending has to be done here from Detroit City FC up against the boards as Iowa enjoy a little bit of a spell of possession in Detroit City FC's fourth. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Chipped up and out of play. Of course, the visitors back to full strength after that red card that ended the second quarter. But, of course, that player will not be able to feature for the rest of the evening. Chipped up and into space.
Good touch from Katie Murphy there. Very nice.
And that's going to get Detroit City FC rolling here. Katie Murphy has Anya Dow up with her.
Oh, what a pass.
Finds it Anya Dow.
Katie
Murphy going to let it roll off of the boards.
Done very well tonight.
Murphy throws a foot at it and into the hands of Newman. Calmly, I might add. Good toss up the pitch. Lofted header down by T-Fen.
Nice little double team.
It's been a positive start to the second half from the visitors. Kind of seeing what we saw from them in that first quarter.
Yep. Where
they're keeping Detroit City FC at bay, but they've shown they can be dangerous in these first 3.5 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, it's been a very similar effect, like frustrating and very organized defensively.
Britton dribbles into some space, and that one's going to be up and out of play, and unfortunately...
Is there a little deflection on that one? I'm going to predict corner kick. It's just my prediction.
Well, we should predict maybe a second ball, perhaps.
Well done, referee. Oh, almost.
We got
Joel?
That is Joel.
Joel's on it.
Great job by Joel. Now it's stuck in the net on the top of the board.
Oh, look at Joel. He's just going to get up.
Joel is climbing up there, folks.
He's going to get up and get after it.
Oh, you don't want him to drop the ball into play now. And now he put himself into position.
He's handling this so well.
With Detroit City FC, if he could be, yeah.
That's like a that's a heroic performance from Joel right now. He's suspended. Look at that strength. People at home, I don't know if they can appreciate
that whole family is really impressive when it comes to doing this specific thing. His brother became famous on one of Detroit City's national broadcasts this past year from jumping over the fence to get a ball.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I believe it was the ESPN2 Louisville game. Detroit City FC won that one 2-1.
Oh, that's cool.
He jumped over a fence at speed to get to a ball before it trickled onto the train tracks behind Keyworth Stadium.
Oh, that's fun. I like that stuff.
A good header into space there by Nikki Hoff, looking for Amanda Britton. It's good awareness there from Nikki Hoff to notice the runs coming.
Yep. Oh, what a fake from Fatima Nasser.
It got me up here.
So clever.
It got me. I'm not even close to it.
Really
I was got by that one.
She's got that in her toolkit. Just really, really thoughtful. Great at using the space around her.
Nikki Hoff on the turn. Up against the board, tried to find Tatiana Mason. Great job by Nasser, playing it back to Shriver. Shriver has McCarthy, but also has Katie Coleman in the midfield.
Nice
Tatiana Mason.
Good overlap.
Sort of a 3-on-3, but a great overlap from Shannon McCarthy.
Good
Off
ball.
of the boards, back in front for Tatiana Mason. Bouncing around in the box.
Shannon McCarthy got that geometry right.
One of my favorite classes back in school was geometry. Big fan of shapes.
Yep. Shapes, angles.
That's why soccer's so much fun for me.
Yeah.
Tatiana Mason. Emily Matson on the pitch as well for Detroit City FC right now. Katie Coleman in an advanced position, considering that she was listed as a defender for tonight's match. Lisa Barron and Fatima Nasser having some defensive work to do now as the visitors look to get their first goal of the evening, and she's just so good on the ball, Fatima Nasser, and uses the board so well. That was an excellent sequence there.
That was so well done. Defensively, she went from not having it to having it. That was impressive.
It's always good.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of like ideal scenario, ideal outcome if you're a defender.
If you don't have it, you want it. You want it. You want to get it.
You want it. Yeah. But to win it clean, like usually the best you can do is like poke it away, whatever. But she just won the ball. That was awesome.
Emily Matson's going to have a foul go against her right there. I think the referee signaled that was her second foul. I believe you're allowed 4 before the blue card comes out.
Individually.
So that was very good communication there from the refereeing crew as Hannah Crum might be into some danger here.
Good pressure from Hannah Crum.
Great pressure from Hannah Crum, and her being up, further up the pitch might help Detroit City FC right here as Barron's going to play it across.
What a finish.
And that's,
wow.
I mean, that's an unbelievable goal.
We had great view of that.
That's an unbelievable goal.
And the playmaker has become the goal scorer, Zoe Greenhalgh. What a finish.
That was unbelievable. The second that shot came in, we both got quiet for a second because we knew what the outcome was.
Yeah, I mean, Chad's pumped. As he should be.
Might as well
he had a great view of it, too.
Not as good as our view, though, but that's an unbelievable finish from Zoe Greenhalgh.
You see players at the top level, strive to hit the ball the way she did there, that curling, arrowing shot that's just, unstoppable if it's placed as well as that one was. That was a fantastic finish.
And now Detroit City FC's really pulled away from this one. I mean, a 6-goal deficit, 23 minutes remaining. A goal would do a great bit of work for Iowa's confidence right now, and like I just mentioned, the vibes.
Yeah, they're.
And knowing Detroit City FC, they're not going to take their foot off the gas.
Right. No, I think you only get the way Detroit City FC has played all season. They just gain confidence from goals, and it becomes an exercise in slowing their momentum when you concede against them.
Last game at home as well. They
want to put on a good show. They got a great crowd, sellout crowd tonight,
and they've put on a great show all night and all season long.
Yep. They've been very – and they've dealt with a little bit of frustration tonight just in terms of the way the Iowa team is defended. But
great job by Hannah Crum, and the nutmeg's going to come in. The shot's going to come in, and Claire Salino was approaching up at the back post.
Hannah Crum feeling it.
Crazy nutmeg, though, to start that move in the first place from Hannah Crum.
That was nice. Nice ball in.
Claire Salino on the turn. Right-footed shot's going to have some power to it. It's going to fall to Hannah Crum.
Good save from the goalie there.
Will she go for the nutmeg again?
She might. She's just crazy enough to do it. Oh.
That one's going to be played forward. Zoe Greenhouse, the playmaker, scorer, is going to turn defender on this occasion.
Well done.
And did a great job to put the attacker off of her stride right there.
Yep. Change the angle there.
And then immediately gets it back and has Detroit City FC breaking up the other end of the pitch again.
Zoe Greenhouse has been the source of a lot of great moments for DCFC tonight.
Serlino, top of the area. We were talking about she has 2 different color boots that she wears, superstition thing.
Love that.
I said to Sean Grogan last time out, as Amanda Britton's looking to fancy a shot here, falls back to Anya Dow.
I think I heard. Did I hear this part of your stream?
Well, I said to Sean, that's got to get expensive. You know, you're buying 2 boots for 1 pair. And he made a good point that you can just switch the colors on either foot, and I asked her about that, and that is what she does.
Yeah,
so not as expensive as I thought it would be. It is the same price, but you get more uses out of it, you know?
Absolutely.
Which makes sense. Like, thinking back on that was crazy for me to think that she was just...
It wasn't, though. It wasn't.
I just didn't know how deep the superstition thing went.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and even still, like, on the surface, it's a logical conclusion. But then you think about it, and you're like, well, you can use both. I guess what I'm saying is I don't fault you at all.
But you see both ends of it, though.
I see both ends of it. But I, respect both ends.
Nikki Hoff playing into
Nice
Anya Dow. Comes back to
Nice
Nikki
one,
Hoff.
too.
That one's
Great
going
one,
to be
too.
off of the glass. Tiefen's going to have some work to do at the top of the area. Goes back to Fatima Nasser.
The funny thing, the good thing about soccer for a team like DCFC in this position, and the bad thing about soccer for a team like Iowa in this position, is that when you're in the lead and you're up a few goals and you're fairly comfortable in the scoreline, you start to try things and you can be a little more creative and take more risks, and oftentimes that pays off and leads to more goals. So DCFC definitely benefiting from the lack of pressure at this point, and Iowa maybe suffering the consequences of an extra comfortable DCFC team.
And it's been very impressive, the one-on-one defending that we've seen from Detroit City FC tonight, and it makes it even more impressive when you remember they haven't had to do it much.
No.
So to say, flipped on like that, switched on, and being able to do it every time you've been asked of it has been excellent from this entire unit.
Yeah.
Because you can't put it down to just the defenders, because everyone's shipping in tonight, everyone's playing defense.
They're all tracking. We've seen a couple notable efforts from attacking players to get back, stop. Zoe Greenhouse notably a couple minutes ago, making the run back to cut out a breakaway or to turn a breakaway into a tough angled shot. And when you have your attacking players making those kinds of efforts, it really just makes
it easy.
Yeah,
it just makes it easy.
You can't fail if that's going on, if that kind of effort's being made.
You might see a goalkeeper change here out of this timeout as you see some work being done and some support coming from the Detroit City FC bench.
Kirsten Williams
And Gabby Shriver warming each other up.
They have a great rapport as a goalkeeper duo. They're super supportive of one another. It's really neat to see. Kirsten Williams was in the player pool for the W League team this summer, and I got to witness the goalkeeper dynamics up close. And
the vibes on this Detroit City FC bench right now, you can tell that Danny Evans is satisfied because they were just having a good time in that timeout.
Yeah, they're enjoying it. And I think if you're Danny Evans, you're telling him right now, hey, there's 5.5 left in this quarter, one more after that. Don't let this thing pass you by without enjoying it and making the most of the opportunity.
Are you almost worried to say too much in that situation where it's like things are going well?
Yeah.
Like we just let's have fun.
With it, right? Have fun and don't forget to enjoy the game. You've earned the right to enjoy the final stretch of the game. Obviously, you don't want to get too relaxed. You need to keep doing the things that have been working, and a lot of those things don't happen without full effort. But you are in a great position, so you want to get to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Fatima Nasser on the ball. Over to Katie Coleman.
Nice
Played
ball.
into Tatiana Mason. Tatiana Mason with her back to goal has an overlapping run coming from Fatima Nasser. Fatima Nasser looks to play it across. It's deflected, but back to her. Saved it from going onto the boards. Iowa now looking to just slow Detroit City FC down a little bit. As Emily Matson wins the ball back. Great job at Matson to retain possession here. Cut it back to Shannon McCarthy, who's quickly closed down by 2 Demon Hawks. Nasser across to Coleman. Coleman has Mason up with her, likes to go for the shot. Sort of an awkward deflection there from Tatiana Mason, but good job by Fatima Nasser to track over. Will confirm we had a goalkeeper change, so Kirsten Williams makes her way into the game for the first time tonight. Mason on the pressure, but eventually back to Newman in goal. A good turn there, but Fatima Nasser with a clever poke away, and she just effortlessly wins it back for Detroit City right there.
She's been outstanding tonight.
She's been phenomenal. And always is. But
Yeah.
but tonight, like, in the attack and defense, she's been everywhere.
I feel she hasn't put a foot wrong. She's come up with the ball time and time again when, she's one-on-one defensively. And going forward, she's such a threat. She's just really taken her indoor game to another level.
And the way Detroit City FC is playing, like every time the Iowa Demon Hawks get the ball, she's the only defender back.
Yeah.
Because of, that they feel comfortable enough with her style of play and how good she is in one-on-one defending.
Yep.
That they let her do that because they know she can.
Yeah. Yeah, and what a luxury that is. You can commit more numbers forward and have the confident. Oh,
that one's played across it. What a
nice
finish.
Goal.
That
Katie,
one got her fired up.
Is that a Katie to Katie goal? Katie Coleman to Katie Murphy?
Is that a first in DCFC history?
No.
Could be.
Is that, yeah, maybe.
What
well
a
done.
finish.
Well done, Katie.
And she loved that one.
She
Picked
enjoyed
the ball
that,
up, threw it back in the net. Maybe that's worth double.
That's her first. Yeah, right. Do you get 2 for that? You should.
Wouldn't shock me in the arena game, honestly.
Yeah. Very pleased for Katie Murphy, though, in her first game this season. First home game anyway. That's nice to get on the score sheet.
Crowd is juiced. The Detroit City FC bench is juiced. What a night it's been at the Fieldhouse. And Dave, the best part is we still have another entire quarter of soccer to go.
It's not over yet.
Hannah Crum back to Claire Serlino. Serlino looking for Nikki Hoff, who's deep in the midfield. And that one's going to skip off the turf and eventually fall to Claire Serlino. Does a good job to turn. Kind of gets turned there, but the Iowa Demon Hawks there had nowhere to go, so they just have to blast it forward. Falls to Zoe Greenhalgh, who gets it to Elisa Barron, who's in miles of space here in this midfield.
I'm just realizing.
Lisa Barron to Hannah Crum. Back to Barron. Barron right-footed. What a save that was.
Great effort.
And Nikki Hoff unable to finish.
Great effort. Just going to say, I'm realizing more and more, and you alluded to this with the way Iowa are kind of struggling to counter. I think fatigue is setting in. They're starting to feel the legs go a bit, and the way they've had to defend, the energy they've had to expend defensively. I think Detroit's just going to really, if they can take advantage of it, if they can keep the ball moving, I think they'll have a real advantage.
And the thing is, like in big, when you're winning and the vibes are good, you can almost overcome fatigue by the fact that things are going so well and you're fired up and things are. But that doesn't happen when you're down 7-0. So that's only going to add to it and make them maybe feel more fatigued than they already are. Nikki Hoff goes for it. What a save that was! It wasn't probably one of the best play strikes that we could have seen, but it was a good job by the goalkeeper to get a foot out and make a stop on that occasion.
Yeah, it was well done keeping it on frame from Nikki Hoff.
A couple of chances that she'll want back, though, and coming within a small amount of time right there. Because both clear-cut opportunities to make it 8-0.
Yep.
Great job by Hannah Crum. Ghosting Class 2 players right there. Amanda Britton coming into some space. Amanda Britton tried to throw a right foot at it. Bert Serlino and Barron up to the task of defense now.
I like that Serlino-Barron duo. They have complementary qualities. I think in the pace category, there are few as fast as Claire Serlino. And then in the ball-winning, positional awareness, overall experience category, you got Elisa Barron. So it's neat to see them playing together.
It's a win-win situation for Detroit City FC, and that just has to be impossible to play against.
Yeah.
I mean, looking up, the background of you having to take on them, you see the scoreboard and you see the games kind of slipped away, and then, you got to beat Elisa Barron and Claire Serlino.
Yep. Yeah, that would be a tall order.
Nearing the end of the third quarter at the Detroit City Fieldhouse as Rouge look to add an 8th. Going to say there was some contact there, but from Emily Matson. It's the white headband that's killing me.
We got a couple white headbands out there. It's tough.
I bet they got them at the same place, though, because they're identical headbands.
They are. Have you ever played the children's game Guess Who?
I have, actually. I would say it's less of a children's game and just more of a general game, but...
Fair enough. I play it with my children.
Okay.
So maybe that's why I think of it that way. But
do you have a go-to guy that you pick, or...?
Well, we always just draw blind.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
I hope people at home know the game we're talking about.
Guess Who.
Guess Who. But I was just going to say it'd be neat to do like a DCFC player edition, and then you could say, like, is your player wearing a white headband? and that would allow you to eliminate maybe half of the field.
When you guys see that on the Detroit City FC YouTube channel this summer, no one's Dave Dwayhe's getting full credit for that because that's an excellent idea.
That thing.
I might run into the media office and put that one up on the corkboard.
Yeah, crazy ideas.
Yeah.
Ideas that are crazy enough to work.
That's not even a crazy idea. That's a crazy good idea.
I could see it now. Me and you playing. Mackie, does the player wear a shoe of two different colored shoes? And then you'd be like, yes, and I'd be like, it's Claire Cheerleading.
That'd be a killer question to ask. But the thing is, if you say no,
then you haven't gained much ground.
Yeah.
It's a risky question.
I wouldn't play with you though, because you sound like a pro. If you and your kids are playing,
I love playing. It's a great game.
That's going to draw us to the end of the third quarter at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. Detroit City FC 7, Iowa Demon Hawks 0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the fourth and final quarter of action from tonight's MASLW match. Welcome back to the Detroit City Fieldhouse for the fourth quarter. I had to run back for this one. I was almost a late one, Dave.
You were a role reversal. I was waiting here, and you were hustling.
Yeah, I was.
Glad you made it back.
I couldn't be happier to make it back.
I literally couldn't do it without you.
You could. You could have just walked up and put the headset on.
Oh, no. None of this stuff works for me unless you're here.
That would have been a good bit if you would have been like, guess who's late this time? Yeah.
Guess who?
Guy's late for his own broadcast.
Seriously.
That guess who thing is going to be awesome. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Let's do it. It's just crazy enough to work.
Detroit City FC looking to...
Oh, what a tackle. Shannon McCarthy tackles like a pro.
Yeah, and that probably stems from the pro experience that she had. I would hope, it kind of set me up for that one. But Iowa, with a bright start to this fourth quarter, probably the most attacking intensity we've seen from them all night.
Yep. I was actually just thinking about, I was just talking to DCFC sporting director Trevor James between periods.
Always a pleasure.
And we were talking about how just, daunting it must be to travel this distance and to play a quality opponent. You want to come home with something.
Right.
And, to come away without a goal will be tough. So I'm sure they're going to really make that a top priority in this final quarter. Whether they get the result tonight or not, they're going to want to prove to themselves that they can create a goal against this Detroit City defense.
Trevor James, no stranger to the indoor game, played a little bit when he was out in California.
That's right. Fun fact.
Imagine those games. The vibes of those games are probably so good. Katie Coleman with some space to break forward here for Detroit City FC. Has Shannon McCarthy to her right. Shannon McCarthy plays it back to Coleman. Coleman can't get it under her feet. Comes up against the boards, and Shannon McCarthy's doing some of the grunt work over there, trying to get it back for her side. Coming to the top of the area of Eliza Barron. That right-footed ball is going to be played all the way across to Zoe Greenhalgh. She was kind of just slipping past the Iowa team over that back shoulder. A little bit of contact right there, but right back up, and that still hasn't been
that ball.
That's still so from earlier, folks, when we were that ball went up and out of play, and we saw Joel doing a great job to get it, or Jack.
I think that's Joel.
We saw Joel doing a great job to keep that ball in that zone over there. It's still up there.
Still there. That's pesky ball.
And he's doing it. He knows he's got to stand by here, or else
Yeah.
It could fall into the thing. We have 2 balls on the field to be a nightmare.
Yeah, you don't want a ball on the pitch. A second ball on the pitch. You always want one.
At least. Oh, no, at max.
At max.
Yeah.
Less than or equal to.
Alligator. We taught that as an alligator and less than or equal to, yeah.
Yep. That works for people.
Hannah Crum has her shot saved.
It was a great little sequence between Nikki Hoff and Hannah Crum.
Hannah Crum as well to keep it alive, though, on the dribble.
Ooh,
what a clever pass that was. Nikki Hoff back to Eliza Barron, who just can't get it under her feet.
Nikki Hoff on the pivotal role and 2 really nice 1-2 exchanges there. She's finding her. Ooh, she just got fouled.
Kind of just, muscled off the ball a little bit right there.
Kind of finding herself as a really effective hold-up player there.
Now Iowa has a chance to break, but just can't really get that final pass figured out. That's kind of been their issue all night.
Good composure from Eliza Barron and Hannah Crum.
Oh, that was a shove in the back. And you feel like that was one that Hannah Crum saw coming, because when she received that ball from Barron, she didn't move. It was such a casual take of the ball, and then
Hannah Crum is really good at that. They I think to have a player like that on your team who can draw a foul at key moments and see a game out
and get
that
it.
way.
Know you're drawing the foul, knowing what all of that entails, and getting up and getting right back in the play. That was awesome.
It's nice to have players with that kind of savvy.
Because she was on the ground and she didn't look shocked about it at all. She was like, oh yeah.
And she was
gonna get
She was in a tough spot.
From distance, what a finish that was!
Yes, I'm happy for Eliza Barron there. That was a great finish. And she's excited to get on the scoreboard. Look at that. Look at that. That's pure joy.
Oh.
Well done, Eliza.
And that's a popular goal.
Welcome back.
And the whole team's really going to get her on that one.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yes, Chad.
That was great.
I've seen Eliza Barron score a lot of goals on this field, and that was one of the better ones I've seen her score. Really well taken with her favored left foot, beautifully placed into the corner. And here they come again.
Detroit City FC out of the
nice save.
Passage of play, and that one was up and over. That one's going to stay in the net. We have another ball thrown out here.
Look at that ball getting thrown.
Unlimited here at the Fieldhouse, and it'll be a corner for Detroit City. So it could have. We've seen them have success on set plays all season.
Yep.
We'll see what they cook up on this one. Shannon McCarthy sets it down. Has Serlino right-footed. Just had so much traffic to go through, though, on that one. Back to McCarthy. Iowa now looking to break. As the Demon Hawks look for their first goal of the evening. Shriver's going to come off of her line.
Just realizing,
calmly.
Watching that shot that Claire just took, she's twice now, and she scored with it earlier. She uses the inside of the foot there. And I think so many players, when the ball's played back to them, they just try and hit it a ton with the laces and its skies on them, and it's almost like she's
like they're trying to overdo it a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, in some ways that's the way you got to shoot. And in the indoor game, you need a hard shot to beat the goalie. But what I think Claire's done so well using that technique is she's making sure it's on frame, and I think you got a much better chance to score if it's not going out of bounds. And she's put one in now, and then that one led to a really nice rebound. So it's neat to see her experiment with technique like that.
Anya Dow looking to chip it across to Shannon McCarthy. A great settle down by Shannon McCarthy. Going to dribble it back out to her right before trying to get a shot from her left. Referee's going to say that was all ball.
Ref was in a good position there.
But things have been a little bit heated again in this fourth quarter. We've seen a couple of incidents where players have been going to ground. We'll see if that continues. Detroit City FC, of course, cruising and pulling away with the victory. It's just a matter of how much at this point, and that's another shove.
That was a foul.
And we've seen, in the games that we've seen things boil over, for some reason it's been on Amanda Britton. I don't know if she's just so annoying to play against because of how good she is and how technical she can be. But the last time out, it was me and Sean Grogan, she was getting targeted a little bit too.
Yeah, she's so committed. And she's a clean player, but defensively she puts in such an effort, and she gets a leg in and a toe in, and she'll work it on the upper body end as well. And basically, like, she's a pest, like she's a defensive pest, and other teams get frustrated with that.
We're going to have a stoppage in play here for a down player. The Iowa bench wishes that there was a call on that one, I believe. I think that was a shoulder-to-shoulder situation, but the Demon Hawk worse for wear on this occasion. Detroit City FC 8. They will be improving to 8-0 on the season, the current score of the game. We'll see a card coming out.
What's going to happen here? Another yellow for a different coach, maybe. He's upset.
And that was the other referee that gave it this time, whereas before there was the gentleman with the silver hair. It's just the reality of what color hair he has. That's not even a comment. That's not an age thing. No, he has silver hair. But it could be taken as a...
I think it's fine to identify someone by hair color.
I was just clarifying.
I certainly do that when I ask questions in Guess Who.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah. Bringing it all the way back to Guess Who.
Yep. Real little reincorporation of a...
That's what we call a callback in the industry.
Yep.
Dave wouldn't know what a gray hair is because those don't come in at 35 years old.
Oh, man. Cut it out, Mackie.
Ooh. Cut it out, Tatiana Mason, nearly. Fatima Nasser, left-footed back into the path of Mason.
What a ball from top.
Detroit City FC here looking for a ninth. Never satisfied this squad. And now Iowa has a chance to break. It could be a 2-on-1 opportunity, but a great close down by T-Fen to make that shot more difficult. And Anya Dow as well. That one comes off of what would be the crossbar. And Dow has T-Fen up in front of her. Clever play by Dow off of the board to try to find it for T-Fen, who's now doing some defending on this far side. Has Mason in the middle, as well as Katie Murphy, who of course scored in that third quarter just a few minutes ago.
Go on, Fatima.
Fatima Nasser now going to break into some space going forward. Fatima Nasser for Detroit City FC. Seeing what she can do tonight. Iowa defender kind of just has it trapped in her feet. Player's going to go to ground, but Detroit City FC is going to retain possession. Anya Dow switches it back into the middle. Zoe Greenhalgh now looking for another. That one's deflected off the back. Greenhalgh, though, still pressuring and still fighting for the ball. Aliza Barron, who scored a few minutes ago, a very popular goal around the Fieldhouse this evening.
Yep, a lot of
in the stands and on the bench.
Aliza fans.
Where it's such an easy player to be a fan of.
Man, for good reason. A city stalwart.
Ooh, a clever flick backwards. That one's going to fall in front. And Iowa just unable to clear their own lines here. Detroit City FC's taking advantage of that and piling on all the pressure. Katie Coleman chips it across. Barron again. Coleman. McCarthy.
Well done, Shannon McCarthy.
Clever dribble through Shannon McCarthy. That one comes in. It had to be a clever stop there from Newman, and it was. Shannon McCarthy, Mini Football World Cup winner for Team USA. Just such a cool thing to say out loud.
Cool.
That's why I love saying it. Coleman played it across and up into the netting, so it will be a little corner kick action.
I like what Nikki Hoff
did there. We'll see a timeout.
I like what Nikki Hoff did there. It's not going to be able to lead to anything, but she grabbed the ball. She set it on the spot. She was looking to play quick. I love it when players do that, when they have that presence of mind to see if they can catch the other team a little bit off guard.
It's so much fun in the indoor game and in the outdoor game, too. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, and when it comes off, it's so fun to watch.
And it comes off pretty often, which I don't know what it is, but culturally in soccer, I feel like teams don't play to the whistle as much as they should.
Yeah.
They'll stop playing when they think the referee's going to give a foul.
Right.
And it's so bizarre. It just feels like Just stay locked in. I say this. I don't play soccer, but I don't know. I don't know if you feel that way as a coach or if you see it.
Yeah.
You know,
you see teams suffer. Oh, look at that. Look at those eyes.
Ebby Varghese as well.
Oh man.
Chris Mills is the focus is killing Chris Mills right now. It's probably been a decade since Chris has focused the camera.
That's what.
And it's going to remain a decade because he still can't get this focus right. I was going to say, Chad hadn't blinked in a second, but he blinked there. Chad recently had frosted tips, but he got a haircut, and there's no more frosted tips on Chad, but we don't know when that stopped being a thing with the frosted tips.
Have you ever sported that look?
Oh, I did frosted tips a couple times. I like to do it right before summer because then I was like, oh, it's heating up this stuff. I was like, no, it's warm out, but we're staying icy up top,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's funny enough, in 2021, 22, sorry, first year in the USL, I did frosted tips. Friday night, whatever. Next day we have a home game. Chad, that same week, Thursday or Friday, he also did frosted tips.
Yeah, you guys were in sync.
Yeah. Bye. That was one of the Dave's fired up about that.
Are we in sync right now? Have we gotten to that point where we're just one mind? I
think I said this to you off air, but I believe In Sync was my sister's first concert.
That's a great first concert.
I could be wrong, and someone in my family, In Sync was their first concert. So who knows?
Okay.
I hope it's real because I've definitely heard that.
Yep. I like that.
Detroit City FC still playing here.
What was your first concert?
I don't want to say the answer to that.
Okay.
Which is tough. That one's going to come in and again on the line.
Good strike from Amanda Britton there.
And then Nikki Hoff on the rebound just couldn't direct it home. T-Fen's going to have some defending to do. Back to the feet of Nikki Hoff. Katie Coleman now. Played across, and T-Fen's pretty far forward up the pitch. Number 26, I noticed in the indoor and outdoor. I don't know if you know the reasoning about it. It's a good number for soccer.
No, I like that one.
One of those fun, you don't think about that as a number.
Yeah.
26 doesn't really come. And 29 as well, which is great.
Yeah, Eliza loves 29. 26 was Riyad Mahrez, right?
Yeah.
One of the more notable.
I don't know if he wore 26 at Man City, but at Leicester for sure.
And they both have a well-educated left foot.
Definitely.
Him and Ali Tiefin do.
Good job by Kirsten Williams to save that one. A clean sheet would be awesome for Detroit City FC. It's kind of really all you can want
at this point.
Yeah. Unless Danny Evans wants 10. I'm sure the crowd here would love 10.
Ooh,
Speaking of which,
here.
Hannah Crump threw on goal. Hannah Crump is the goalkeeper. 9-0 Detroit City FC.
Great ball through from Emily Matson. Hannah Crump does the rest with a really smart decision to go around the goalie.
And she came from the bench. Her first touch off the bench was the one around the goalkeeper. And it's 9-0 Detroit City FC, who will be wanting 10.
I like that decision because I think so often in the indoor game, especially with the smaller goals, players try to place it and goalies are able to come out and make themselves big enough where you get even the littlest touch sends it wide. But Hannah Crum electing to use her momentum in her favor. Smart touch around the goalie and a great left-footed finish.
And immediately, oh my gosh, what a flick that was from Hannah Crum into the path of Shannon McCarthy.
I enjoyed that backheel pass.
And Detroit City FC, foot on the gas. I was just saying, do they want 10? It looks like they want 10, Dave.
They might be pushing for it.
Serlino into the path of Crum.
Oh, here we go
Crum
again.
with the clever back pass. Tatiana Mason had to go through traffic.
Great save.
And what a save that was. But that's excellent football there from Detroit City FC.
It's one of those things, too, where, as you watched it unfold, you kind of wondered, is she going to overlap and Hannah's going to back it? But in some ways it's predictable, but in the moment, defensively, you can't see that coming, and it's so effective. It's so disguised. Effective.
And then we see it again. It's unbelievable.
They're just really playing at a high level here, Detroit City FC.
Tatiana Mason, top of the area, looked to slip in a player who was just joining the pitch from Detroit City FC. And Iowa now has numbers in Detroit City FC's attacking zone, really one number right now. Some contact there. Tatiana Mason's not the biggest fan of that, and she's going to receive a blue card for that. And she thought it was a...
I think she was a little disappointed that it was even a foul.
Right.
And I just think from the ref's view, maybe she thought she caught her from behind. And so, at this point in the game, I think you forgive those and just recognize that you're in a great situation and you're going to have a chance to try and kill a power play here.
And so for the first time tonight, Detroit City FC is going to be on the penalty kill. And the visitors are going to have a power play as they look to get a goal. We were talking about it in the second quarter, the third quarter. It still remains true that a goal would do a lot for their confidence.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to want to come home with something. And for Detroit City FC, this is an opportunity to work on this part of the game, defending a power play and getting out of trouble for 2 minutes.
And it will test their mettle a little bit. Detroit City FC's obviously it's 9-0. They're cruising. The game's over. But Danny Evans is going to want to keep a clean sheet here at this point in the game.
Yep.
And it would show good resolve from them if they're able to, keep them off the board, even, down a player as well.
You know what I'm really curious about? The way you approach a power play defensively is usually to win the ball, clear your lines. You're likely going to keep that group of 4 on the field the whole time because you're not going to be able to make, for the most part, you're not going to be able to make a change. You're kind of going to have to gut it out for 2 minutes. But I'm curious, with the quality on the field that Detroit City have right now, are they going to try and keep it if they win it? Are they going to try and go 4 against 5 a little bit and possess and kill the clock with the ball? That would be a neat challenge for them. And they have the ability to try it because they have a 9-goal cushion.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what happens. And you wonder if the technical ability that they have on the ball, if they're just going to lean into that. If they get the ball, I could see Zoe Greenhouse still trying to create an opportunity to score. I think that this could be a more aggressive defensive power play that we've seen, and that was a scuffed chance.
Wow.
And a great job by Kirsten Williams in the Detroit City FC back line to clear the pressure. And the applause from the crowd on that was just as loud as it's been for all 9 goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Iowa now looking to make the most of this opportunity. Cleared away there by Eliza Barron. Zoe Greenhalgh on the ball now, unable to get it out, but Kirsten Williams is going to dive onto it. And once again, the crowd gets up for that with just 4 minutes remaining in tonight's contest. Detroit City FC looking for a successful penalty kill. Iowa once again.
This is exciting. This is the first time all game where we've really seen Iowa with some sustained possession.
It's good to see.
Yeah.
And this might do a lot for their confidence, just ending the game on this note, right? Obviously there's still going to be 2 minutes after this is complete, but the fact that they were able to have a moment of possession and some time on the ball and able to play the way they want to play and dictate the game, that'll do well for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back out wide. Iowa still up a player. That right foot shot's going to come in. What a save by Kirsten Williams.
Great
but still
save.
Some defending to do from Detroit City FC. Katie Coleman and Zoe Greenhalgh applying the pressure at the top of the area.
What a tackle.
And Katie Coleman goes to ground and gets that one out of play. And there can't be much time remaining in this power play for the visitors.
That was an excellent save from Kirsten Williams, shifting across, and then a great tackle from Katie Coleman.
Will she have to make another save? That one's cleared away by Eliza Barron.
Getting the applause from the bench.
And Newman for the first time tonight sort of active. We were talking about it. You have 2 minutes to score. Why not go for it in this regard?
Yep.
Believe Kirsten Williams got a hand on that one. Right-footed effort's going to come in and up into the netting. And luckily that one stayed and bounced in the right way. Can't be much longer in this power play for the visitors. As Barron just you saw what she was going for, but it goes up and into the netting. And I think Detroit City FC is back to full strength.
Full strength. Katie Murphy on the field. Although we will
get a penalty kill that was.
Well done. That was well done.
We'll see a set piece, though, from the visitors here. Right-footed shot's going to come and go through everybody.
What a great reaction save from Kirsten Williams, because that kind of snuck through.
That was a double-barreled wow from David Duehe right there. It was a wow type deal, and less of a wow. So mark your bingo cards at home for that one.
Yep.
Detroit City FC has a moment here to break, potentially. Zoe Greenhalgh is making a run.
Nice
Zoe
ball.
Greenhalgh right-footed.
Ooh,
what a
ball.
save that was from Newman. And to her credit, 9-0, it's going to be hard to get that point across, but she's done a great job all night tonight making some crucial saves for her side.
For sure. She really has. She's been their unsung hero in a lot of ways, and when you get 9 put up on you, that's tough. That's a tough night as a goalkeeper, but she's certainly done her job well when called upon. The savable shots she's saved.
Anya Dow now looking to add a 10th, left-footed.
There it is.
And that one comes all the way across and in. And I can't tell who do you think got a touch on that?
I think Amanda Britton finished the job, and I think Anya Dow did a classic far post where whether it goes in or yeah, you can't go wrong with that strike from Anya Dow because it's either a goal or it's a tap in. The far post is the way to go in indoor.
And that'll be the 10th of the evening for Detroit City FC. And that was probably the best goal call I've ever heard out of Ted Schumacher inside of the Fieldhouse or at Keyworth Stadium.
Yeah, you know, some announcers wear down over the course of a game. Ted Schumacher gets stronger.
Ted Schumacher always on task when he's called upon, and that was no exception, but just a little bit more juice to it because it was the 10th of the evening.
Nice move from the Iowa player there.
Cleared away by T-Fend. Back into the hands of Kirsten Williams. 60 seconds remaining in tonight's match and only 60 seconds left in Detroit City FC's home slate of matches in the MASLW League for 2025. It's a sad thing to say out loud, Dave.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. I'm going to miss these games and wish the women well as they finish out their season. Couple games on the road.
Couple games on the road as Detroit City FC will look to go to, of course they haven't been to Hammond, Indiana yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's coming.
How
it's on the
could
calendar.
you forget that one?
Oh, man. I might try and make that trip. See my old roommate, Tony Pagoric.
Tony Pagoric.
Cheer on the women in an away match.
Add an away match. Nothing like it. Claire Serlino, top of the area. Can number 11 get the 11? Can Detroit City
cool.
FC add to their lead and get one more goal in front of these fans?
I think they might.
15 seconds remaining. I think you kind of just get to have a
yeah.
victory lap.
Yep. Hold the ball. Nothing. No need to invite any unnecessary drama. Finish the game with some class.
And it's a classy way to finish it. It was a classy wire-to-wire performance from Detroit City FC, who get it done tonight. They've gotten it done all season. They've gotten it done at home here, and it was really a complete performance. You can't think of a single player that put a foot wrong all evening.
No, across the board, a great performance, a great team performance tonight from Detroit City FC.
And it really was a successful night for Rouge. It was a great crowd on hand. It's good to see, the sportsmanship between these two sides. Detroit City FC going over to the bench, congratulating their opponents, and really the crowd out hand here congratulating DCFC on a great night and a great season overall.
Absolutely, a great way to close out their home campaign, a definitive, well-deserved win, and a clean sheet, which goes to show, as well as they attacked tonight, they defended with a lot of commitment.
It was a phenomenal night at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. It's been a phenomenal season, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to be alongside Dave Dwahey for 3 and Sean Grogan for 1. If this is your first match, if this is your 4th of the year, we thank you so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. The USL Championship season about to get underway. The USLW League side will be me and Sean Grogan. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Jarrett Mackey. That's been Dave Dwahey. Have a great night, folks.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.